So, welcome to the Week 11 video, everybody. I am your friendly neighborhood JB. Uh, your friendly neighborhood first place JB. 6 weeks ago, I was dead, forgotten. Everybody was like, no way. But here I am, just 3 weeks away from being Mr. Playoff Mania once again on my route to a 4 straight championship appearance. Fingers crossed. A lot has to happen. First things first. Let's clinch the playoffs this week. Other things that are going around. Kara. Kara destroyed the Stanczyk playoff hopes. Especially Eric's. Katie, you're a little more ahead, but Eric, man, you took a loss. I know we were talking about how you don't, not must wins, and sure enough, you were right, because now you are in must-win territory. Now you have to win the next 3, basically. And it's no easy task, as you have me and Katie in your sights. So it will be a difficult path to get to the playoffs. Sam J, still hanging around, but finally got that 7th loss. So technically has clinched the bottom playoff bracket, but nothing's official yet. We'll see that a little bit later on as we'll unfold things. You can see that no team has truly clinched one way or another, and there's still a glimmer of hope for the likes of Sam J or Kara. And this week, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking anything about Kara's team. She's like quicksand. You don't think anything of it, and then the next thing you know, you're over your head, and you're like, to go back, the Stanczyks bend the knee for Kara. That should have been added in earlier, but that just came up on the fly. That's how good these videos are. There is no scripts. Believe it or not. It's just fly by the seat. So sometimes you're going to get good material in the middle that should have been in the beginning or with something else, but it just comes to me. So those are nuggets of goodness for you. So here we are. We are at week 11, and we have to talk about the 6-4 disconcerting signal. That's right. Andy, 1 win away from clinching his first ever winning season in 8 years in the league. So we're rooting for you. A big win on Monday night over John. Sam J almost had a big comeback over me. Was very worried because Cam Newton, you're always like, oh yeah, Cam Newton's not going to have a game until he plays you. Then Cam Newton has a game, and sure enough, almost did. Somehow I am the quarterback whisperer. First I pick up Deshaun Watson, and now I'm picking up Jared Goff, and he drops 37. Ain't no big dig, right? Yeah. So, QB Whisperer, the QB Deathner, if that was such a word, would have to be Eric. So, every quarterback he picks up just simultaneously falls apart, so that's cool. I don't know why Carson Wentz is still doing good, but keep riding that. But you have Case Keenum now, so which means that'll be the end of the Case Keenum era and hopefully the end of the Vikings. Not saying that the Packers are going to win the division, but they beat the Bears, so that was still a pretty good week for us here. So there you go. All the others I didn't talk about. Mostly I just want to talk about John losing to Andy to give Andy a 6th win and a great chance to make the playoffs. So we're rooting for you because it'll be fun to get some new blood into the playoffs. And be honest, it's all girls in the top half of the playoffs anyways. I'm the only guy, so I guess I'll have to take my chance of, holding the male gene, bringing back the championship. That's right here. So, let's talk about the victories and the heartbreaks of Week 10 on your Week 10 recap. So there it is. Week 10, we'll just push that aside. Week 11 is going to come up in a little bit, but first we're going to do some playoff scenarios. We got two different sets. We have the official playoff scenarios where we do have a chance for 3 teams to clinch something, and then we have a handful of teams that can clinch something by the history of it. So let's get right into it. Basically, everybody but Bob has something to go for, but luckily, Bob still is an intricate part in this, so we're all moving cogs in the playoff machine. We're going to take a look at it right now. So we start off with a double whammy here. JB officially clinches with a win and a Bob loss, and Kara officially is eliminated with a loss. So Bob, if you can do us a big favor and lose, that'd be greatly appreciated. Kara will be eliminated if she loses to JB. Sorry, Kara, it has to be done. Sam J will also be officially eliminated if he loses. So we always say 7 wins is where you need to get to reach the playoffs. So John victory over Bob, which, come on, John, I'm rooting for you. Dana victory over Travis, and a Katie victory over her husband Eric will officially clinch the playoffs for them. We have a unique situation here because Sam B and Andy play. They're both 6-4, so technically here the winner gets a clinching spot. So one of these 2 teams will take up a playoff spot. So technically the next 3, Eric, Kyle, and Travis, all have 4 and 6. While they're not technically eliminated, they are on life support. They will be eliminated with a loss, giving them their 7th loss. Next week we can look into to see if the 7th lost team has ever made the playoffs. But yeah, so these 3 are on life support. They are in must-win mode to going out. All right, so there it is. Everybody's got something to play for. Bob, like I said, not necessarily something you're going to directly play for, but you can affect. So I'm rooting for you, Bob, to take a big old L. Like, I hope you make the playoffs still. Like, it's a good trade-off, right? You lose this game, you win the next 2. Isn't that fair? Isn't that a good deal for us? Take the L. Kara, take the L too. And then we'll move on from there. So, to see how it all plays out, let's take a look at the Week 11 previews that start with Pittsburgh and Tennessee, which surprisingly could determine a first-round bye. Think of it. Tennessee could possibly get a first-round bye. That's kind of like Andy being in the playoffs. Like what we're seeing right now. Yeah. So good luck to all you guys that are trying to clinch the playoffs or stay eliminated. So Sam and Andy theoretically clinching. John, Katie, Dana also clinching. Me with getting a win and a Bob loss. Sorry, Bob, you just got to lose. And then also Kara and Sam J, you just can't lose anymore, or else you are officially eliminated. And then Travis, Kyle, and Eric being eliminated with the loss because of the 7. Doesn't necessarily mean you're truly out. So the only person really in no man's land is Bob, so just do everybody a favor and lose. I appreciate that. So there you go. JB's in first place again. Don't know how. Slaughter pig. And the commissioner, again, does not have the right to change names. So, till next week, getting closer to this being back, I'll see you on the Fantasy Gridiron.